One of the worst experiences of our life is when we want to say something, but fear just paralyzes us. When you know you've got something important to say, but it's like someone has tied up a chain on your throat and you can't speak. When you're standing in front of someone important and your hands are trembling and your palms are sweaty, you're like, what do I say now? What do I do? How do I deal with this situation? Well, in that moment, what you're experiencing is a state of deep fear. You're afraid that I don't know what will happen, so I have no idea how to handle the situation. But the problem is, that fear is the very reason you are struggling in your life. You're struggling to grow. And while speaking and confidence is where a lot of us struggle, if you'll think about it, this fear runs way deeper than just trying to speak up in public. This fear affects every area of your life. In tough situations, whenever you're feeling some panic in your heart, whenever there's uneasiness in your body and you're not sure what to do, that's fear taking over. And the moment it takes over, the worst thing is it paralyzes your rational mind. So the version of you that can make sane decisions, that can make good decisions is there, it exists. But in that moment of fear, that version shuts down. And all you're left with is 3 quick panicky responses. It's either you fight that situation head on, or you freeze and you just don't do anything, or you run away. But all 3 of these are very short-term solutions to a much deeper problem. Because in that moment, let's say when you're facing a challenge, or when there's that tough meeting at work, or when you need to have that really hard conversation with your partner, you may feel that tremble and you may just work your way through it. But if this tremble and this fear and this problem keeps repeating, then in moments when you need to call on to your courage, you are going to step back. In moments where you need to show up as a leader, you will sabotage the opportunity and you will end up with failures where you could have easily created successes, and moments that could have become the proudest story of your life will end up turning into regrets, all because this one emotion of fear paralyzed you and made you feel so worried, so challenged, and so stuck that you couldn't do anything. My question is today, do you want to change that? Do you want to step out of that fear? And do you want to reclaim the power that already exists within you, so that in the moment when there's a tough situation in front of you, you're not running away. You are handling it like a leader. You're handling it like someone who knows what they're doing. When everything around you is in chaos, you are that central pillar of strength who is making things happen. The amount of power you have in that moment is next level. And trust me, that power is in you. You can unlock it the moment you learn to step out of your fear and to step beyond it and to see the strength that lies within. My question is, if you are willing to do it, then I am willing to help you break through that fear in this video itself. That's right. By the end of this video, if you listen carefully to everything I say, you understand it, and you just start to implement in a tiny way every single day, you are going to see that where you would tremble and shake earlier, you're standing like a strong pillar. Where your mind would overthink the worst outcomes, it's confident and sure that you can handle it. And the same situations that would terrify you before, well, now they've become so easy to deal with because you have tapped into your power. So let's take the action step and start by reclaiming our power back from this fear. And the way I like to do that is to help you understand, why does this fear come up in the first place? Because it's not a bad thing to have. Let's not judge ourselves for having it. In moments when this fear takes over, your mind goes back 100,000 years. So when you're feeling that stress, when you're feeling that overwhelm, when you're feeling that trembling and that shaking and that nervousness, you're no longer a human being on this earth. What you are is that ancestor of yours 100,000 years ago who was hunting in the jungle and was staring in the eye of the tiger and had no idea, what do I do now? Well, that's the situation we end up in the moment fear takes over. So we either have 2 choices. Either we can fight the tiger, we can run away from it, or we can just freeze and hope the tiger thinks I'm dead and doesn't eat me. And in that time, when we were living in the jungles, when we were living in a very uncertain world, that fear was necessary. It played a huge role in our lives. In fact, today as well, fear saves us so much from dangerous things. If we didn't have any fear, we'd put our hands into fire. If we didn't have any fear, we would jump off of buildings without even thinking about it. If we didn't have fear, we would play around with knives and swords like they are toys. So having fear is a good thing. And it's good for survival. It's good for ensuring that you don't end up doing something stupid that's going to hurt you. But you know where fear becomes problematic? When it's not even necessary. And ironically, that's when 90% of us bring up our fear. In moments where there is no need for us to feel fearful, the only reason we are feeling that is because it has become a familiar pattern. So here's what happens. Think about it. In that moment, let's say you're in that meeting, you know you've got something important to say, you know you've got a point to add, but you're afraid. Will they like it? What if they judge this? What if they're like such a stupid point and then the promotion I've been eyeing just goes away from me? Better not to say anything, better to just stay silent and be within myself. In the moment when you're having that thought, you're afraid of a possible future outcome. Question 1. Are you sure that's going to happen? Question 2. Are you sure you can predict their reactions? And question 3. If it does happen, are you going to get killed? Are you going to die? Is something really bad going to happen? You'll recognize that the answer to all these questions is no. And in that moment, now suddenly there is no fear. There is no need for you at least to be fearful of just speaking your mind. But the thing is, our mind is way too smart. It doesn't understand logic like this. It will say, yes, that's true, but you know what? This happened in the past, and because of this past situation, I'm afraid something similar will happen to me now and I'll lose out and I'll be a failure. And that whole story will go on in your head as to why your fear is justified, and whether it's in your health, whether it's in your relationships, whether it's in your career. Even when it's fear and worry about money, you may have no reason to feel the fear, but you will still feel it, all because your mind comes up with a justification. And now all this while, it has been serving you in terms of survival, that we know. But my question is, has your fear really been serving you in other areas, or has it been limiting you? And if your answer is that yes, my fear is serving me, well then you can close off this video right now. You don't need to watch the rest of it, because for you, fear is working out well. But for 90% of us, the truth is this. Our fear is our biggest limitation. We know we can take that action. We know we can take that big step. We know we have it in us to create that success, to create that impact, to create that adventure, to create that life we've always dreamed of. But we stop. We don't take the action, and then we end up regretting. And then we think, I had so many opportunities in my life. I wish I had used any one of them. But the truth is, you will only keep thinking, I wish I had used them, until and unless you know how to step out of this unnecessary fear. So the very first step to do that is to create this distinction in the first place. What are necessary fears and what are my unnecessary fears? In fact, if you'd like, make a list of it and you'll see the difference. All the necessary fears are the ones you should have, which help you survive in moments of danger. But when you are in an uncomfortable situation where there's no tiger in front of you, there's no lion in front of you, there's no dinosaur in front of you, there's no need for you to be afraid. And the moment you recognize it, you can implement step number 2, and that is to practice and choose a better emotional response. Now, here's what I mean by that. I've told you that you don't need to feel fear because it's unnecessary. Now your mind accepts that fact, your mind knows that fact. But will it implement it? Not at all. You know why? Because your mind does not have a better alternative. And this is something I want you to understand about human psychology at large, because no matter who you're dealing with, whether it's yourself or someone else at work or at home, this one fact will help you become so much better as a person. Human beings do not stop doing things that they don't like. They just move to things that are better or have more benefit. And here's the example of that I want you to understand. I want you to close your eyes for a moment and do anything in the world, but do not think of a pink elephant with braided hair dancing at a nightclub in front of everyone. Do anything else, but do not at all picture this pink elephant with braided hair dancing at the nightclub in front of everyone. Got it? Don't picture this, picture anything else. And I know you're probably laughing on the other side of the screen right now because honestly, you weren't even able to picture anything except this elephant. The more I told you don't do it, the more your mind actually went to it. Why is that? Because there was no other alternative to think about. All you had in your mind as a vision in this moment was a pink elephant with braided hair dancing at a nightclub. So as long as I tell you don't think of it, what are you going to think of? The thing that is in your mind. So the worst thing I can do and the worst thing you can do is to say, okay, mind, please do not feel fearful. Guess what it is going to do? It is going to feel fearful. But instead, let's consider this now. Keep the elephant as it is there. Think about it if you want. Don't think about it if you don't want. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to close your eyes and imagine that you're sitting on a beach. And as you're sitting on a beach, there's this cold breeze that is coming in. And there's this beautiful orange cat that is in your laps, that is purring and sleeping and just loving you. And it's such a peaceful moment with that orange cat with you sitting on the beach and the cold wind. Now, I'm pretty sure you were able to imagine this. And while you were imagining this, did the pink elephant even come up? I know it didn't. I've tried this hundreds of times with people and it always works because that's the way our neuroscience works. That's the way our mind is structured. The moment there's something else to think about, the old image automatically falls away. So here's what I want you to do. To really overcome your fear and to change it, good that you've recognized your unnecessary fears, but don't work on stopping them. That will not work. Here's what you do instead. Start to imbibe courage, patience and love into your life every single day. Use affirmations for it if you want to constantly remind your mind of the fact that this is who I am. I'm someone who chooses love. I'm someone who chooses power. I'm someone who chooses courage. And then stick with it. Stay with it. Don't try to push away the fear. Just stay with whatever is there. Fear comes up, let it come up. Remind yourself that I'm courageous. I am strong, I am loving, and I can choose love and grace as my response. And the more you do this, the more like a strong leader you become. Because then your mind is getting used to having an option apart from fear. Till now, it only had fear as an option, that's why it chose fear. But the next time then, when you're having a tough conversation with your life partner and you're feeling the nerves kicking in, you could just joke inside your mind and say, I'm feeling the love I have for them. That's why I'm feeling this. And it instantly changes the state that you have. That instantly changes the way you're approaching the problem. And suddenly the fear is not there. The next time you feel that heaviness in your throat before you're about to speak at something at your workplace, you can think of it as, oh, this is me being courageous because I'm about to say something very important. Now that's a completely different frame from what if these people judge me? What if I'm not able to communicate effectively? All of that's fear. This is courage. We don't realize it, but actually getting out of our old patterns is very simple. We just have to make a new choice. My question is, what is the new choice that you are making? What are you choosing instead of your old pattern of fear? And what is the higher state that you're stepping into so that without even trying, very effortlessly, the fear will start to fall away. So this is your assignment for this week. I want you to just commit to one thing, that you will recognize what your unnecessary fears are, accept them, acknowledge them, but then don't get rid of them. Instead, just simply choose something that's bigger, something that's better. Consciously program your mind to think in that direction by repeating those things, and you will see a magical shift in you, where in moments you would step into fear, you are naturally choosing strength, you are naturally choosing love, you are naturally choosing courage, and that's the hallmark of real change. It's as simple as that. Like you stopped thinking about the pink elephant when you thought of the orange cat, You're going to stop going back into fear when your mind is preoccupied with ideas and thoughts of this higher emotional state that you want. So comment below and tell me, what is the fear you are letting go of, and what's the higher emotional state that you are practicing and you are creating? It literally is as simple as that. And the more I hear about it from you, and the more you read other people's comments, it will give you more ideas as well as to what you can do. So share your thoughts in the comments and live a fearless week. And I'll see you once again next week on Saturday with this pre-recorded video. And remember, Monday to Friday at 8:30 p.m. India time, we are doing daily YouTube live sessions. If you have not been joining them, make sure the notifications are on, so the next time I go live on Monday, you will have access to the live session right away. And we are having super amazing conversations there, and we're achieving breakthroughs in real time. So I'll see you there on Monday. Till then, have the great rest of your week and practice living fearlessly.